Let's get it. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, 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 welcome. This is Music is Life, brought to you by the Unfit Foods Podcast. I'm your host, D, and the year is 2014.
Jello Beats.
And we still going, we still going. You know what I'm saying? I would put my head up, but we're not going to do all that. But let's get into the fun facts real quick. Okay, it's not that many fun facts, but because there was a lot of reading by federal judges, either upholding or overturning some of the same-sex marriages, saying they were unconstitutional in a whole lot of states. So, fun facts supposed to be fun, but we're gonna get a couple things in. Like I said, there's a lot of shootings that took place all over the country. The U.S. is really just tripping. You know what I'm saying? Well, people in the United States is really just tripping, but it's all cool. President Obama placed a lot of sanctions on Russia that year. On August 9, 2014, 18-year-old Michael Brown was shot and killed by police officer Darren Wilson in Ferguson, Missouri, a suburb of St. Louis. He was later cleared of any wrongdoing. On August 16, Missouri Governor Jay Nixon issued a state of emergency for Ferguson, and a curfew lasted from midnight to 5 a.m. On August 26, Amazon purchased the live streaming site Twitch for $970 million. Whew. Basis pockets deep. On December 4th, protests erupted in New York City after a grand jury decided not to indict New York Police Department officers Daniel Pantello and Justin D'Amico in the death of Eric Garner. On December 20, 28-year-old Ismail Brisby fatally shot two New York Police Department police officers sitting in their police cruiser, supposedly in retaliation for the death of Eric Garner and Michael Brown, before committing suicide in the subway station himself. Notable deaths for that year was wrestling The Ultimate Warrior, Chuck Norris, Casey Kasem, actor Robbie Williams, Joan Rivers, Marion Barry, Ruby Dee, and the great Maya Angelou. And those are your fun facts for the year 2014. All right, people, so what it is, what it do, what it bees like, right? The year is 2014, and like I say, I'm your host, D. Intro for this week was Bobby Shmurda's Hot Ninja. Y'all know we're not going to say the N-word right now, but it is what it is. So, 2014 was very interesting in some of the music choices. There's a lot of things that I did listen to. There's quite a few things that I did not, but it's cool. It's all good. So we're going to get in with rap, right? So there's a couple honorable mentions that I want to put out there, like the boy Future, you know what I'm saying, aka Pluto. He dropped the album that year. He dropped his Honest album. You know what I'm saying? The joints I liked off that dope was Move That Dope, title track Honest, and Ben's Friends was featured Andre 3000. Also, the boy 50 Cent dropped his Animal Ambition album, which had a regular heartbeat on it. Smoke featuring Trey Songz, and Chase That Paper. Who else dropped? My boy Stolly dropped his debut with Maybach Music, and his album title was Ohio. Y'all check that boy out. Stolly was dope. Joe Budden, my guy, he dropped his Some Love Lost album. Who else dropped? K Camp dropped In Due Time. Had some joints on there. That's the one that had damn, I done forgot that quick. But y'all forget my mind right now, but because I didn't put it down in my notes. But he had a couple joints on there. It was an EP, couple joints on there. Dope. Who else? Oh, Nicki Minaj for the Barbs. She dropped her Pink Print album. You know what I'm saying? Had a joint only on there with her, Drake, Wayne, Chris Brown. Had pills and posters on there. Alright. And YG dropped his My Crazy Life project. We had Who Do You Love on it and My Ninja with the boy the boy I'm finna say the boy YG, but it's YG featuring Young Jeezy and the boy Rich Homie Quan. R.I.P. to Quan. Alright, so let's get into this thing, right? Oh, I forgot one. One more honorable mention. I'm sorry. The boy T.I. with his Paperwork album. It actually almost made the list. T.I. that album almost made the list. But it had King on there. It had G shit on there. Jet Fuel was on that joint. Had the boys Leader Duck on a couple projects, a couple songs, especially he had him on the G shit with him and Jeezy. And he was also on the title track Paperwork with him and Pharrell. Alright. So, like I said, 2014, interesting. So we're gonna start off with the top. I know later we've been going from bottom to the top. We're gonna go top to the bottom this week. So coming in at one was the boy J. Cole with his 2014 Forest Hills Drive album. I think this is when Cole separated himself to me between far as lyricism with him, Kendrick, and Drake. Well, really started to put the separation in my opinion. He blacked out on this album, man. He had a lot of joints on there. I mean, he had something that was very commercial that people didn't like, but for the most part, I liked most of the joints on there. Like, my favorite joint off that mug was Tell of Two Cities. In my opinion, he went crazy on that song. I also like January the 28th, as well as Apparently. Man, Cole just nice, man. Like I said, this is his third CD. He's gotten better and better with every CD. And y'all check that out. That's number one for the week. Coming in at two, TDE got, right? The boy Schoolboy Q with his Oxymoron project. For most, that was the first time hearing of Q, I believe. And to be all honest, that's my first time hearing of Q. It wasn't his first album, but I believe it was his second project for his album, actually album. Because he had, which initially was his mixtape, then he had an album that came out in 2013 or 2012. I can't remember, but he had his first album came out then, but 2014 was the one that put him on the map. The joints I was really feeling off that one. Probably my favorite joint was Collard Greens featuring him and Kendrick. I just like how they sounded together. I like a lot of people don't like when Kendrick do those funny voices, but I personally like when he did it on this one, right? So Collard Greens is my favorite joint off this album. Then of course he had the Smash Studio with BJ the Chicago Kid, which turned on a lot of people on the BJ. Me being one of them, I had never heard of BJ before prior to this. I don't think I have. Maybe I did, but I had never heard any projects from BJ. But this is the first time me really just remembering his name. He also had Man of the Year off that project. Crazy. Which was his first single, if I'm not mistaken. But yes, Schoolboy Q, Oxymoron, the actual Oxymoron's self-titled song, Dope. I don't even know what to say about Ozzy Q. Q became one of my favorite. Well, nah, he wasn't my favorite. He became my third favorite out of the Black Hippie. He before he did his album, I had Soul in front of him. Ab Soul in front of him. I mean, Rock was my favorite. Then Kendrick, then Soul, and Q. But Q surpassed Soul on this project with me to me. So that's what it was. At three, right? It seems like this gentleman every project makes my list. This gentleman gets slipped on when it comes to his discography, in my opinion. Him and my number four. But number three, really in particular, because a lot of people say he's not a lyricist. but he's a dope artist. I mean, he picks dope beats and he puts together a dope project. Majority of the time, he gives you dope project. So at number 3, I'm going with the boy Young Jeezy with his Seen It All, the autobiography project. Jeezy just hard, bro. It is what it is. Jeezy just hard. Uh, he had the joints on this one. He had Holy Ghost on there. I was really feeling. He had Me Okay. I was really feeling. And then the title track, Seen It All. He blacked out on Seen It All. I'm not even lying. He blacked out. That boy Jay jumped on there and took it to a whole nother level. I think it's hard for me to say this as a Jay-Z fan, but honestly, maybe because I'm in a spirit of the moment right now and I'm talking about Jeezy, I'm gonna say I think Jeezy got the better Jay on this song, but I'm gonna have to go back and listen to it again and double check before I just completely say that Jeezy had the better verse out of the two. But nevertheless, crazy song. Both of them did their thing. Both of them blacked out. Not much you can say. Coming in at 4. Same thing I was saying about Jeezy. This dude here just constantly always on my list whenever I put the list together, right? So of course I'm a fan of his music. I know a lot of people don't like him because of his personal life and his background. But for me personally, all I want to hear is the music. I can don't too much care about your background and your real life, right? But he tends to make my list all the time. So at 4, I'm going with the boy Rick Ross and his Mastermind project. Um, Could Be is by far probably my least favorite Ross project, but this one is solid project, but it's not a top 3 Ross project in my opinion. But it is still a very good project. You know what I'm saying? He had Blessings in Disguise, featuring my boy Scarface, which is a gem to me. If y'all go and listen to that message that they was giving and listen to Scarface, but y'all know how I feel about Face. OG, Texas legend, go. Walking on Earth, another one of them. Just hard. Just hard. Devil is a Lie. Single, smash, featuring the boy Jay. Jay killed it, but I definitely say Ross, his 2 verses did better than Jay singing first, even though Jay still went in on it, but Ross had already killed that thing. So it 4 was Mastermind by Rick Ross. And for the week, coming in 5th is a new entry from all of my previous lists, right? This is not his first project, but this is my first time putting him in that top 5. You know what I'm saying? He actually stepped out and did some things on this project. I had been following him for a while. I was a fan of his music, and this was probably definitely, I don't want to say his best project, but it was one when he really got in his bag and he put it all together. Well, I was just like, okay, this is a very good project, and it cracked my top 5 for the week. So coming in at 5 is our country cousin. You know what I'm saying? The Mississippi representative, the boy Crizzle, Big Crit with his Catalactica album, right? Crit was like, he's one of those artists who's just like, who put, well, like I say, he's like J. Cole, David Banner, you know what I'm saying? The guys who make their own beats and rap on their beats. So he had a lot of work up to himself on this one. Crit had the Massa Part 3 Big Bang on there. I feel he had a title track, Catalactica on there. He had the Mo Better Cool with my boy Devin and Dude on there. He had Raphael Sadiq on that joint. Well, on this project. Crit did his thing, man. The boy Cruz did his thing. You know what I'm saying? Ain't much to say. I'm not gonna be on here. Like I said, I'm not gonna be on here too long tonight because I got some things I need to handle personal. So gonna get in and out. But again, the top 5 for this week was J. Cole 2014 Forest Hills Drive at 1. At 2, Schoolboy Q was Oxymoron. Project 3, Jesus Seen It All, the autobiography. 4 was Rick Ross's Mastermind. And 5 was Big Crit's Cadillac. With honorable mentions being 50 Cent Animal Ambition, T.I. Paperwork, Joe Budden Some Love Lost, Solid Ohio, Nicki Minaj The Pink Print, Future's Honest, K Camp In Due Time, and YG My Crazy Life. And that's hip hop for the week. Alright. So R&B. R&B was a little challenging for me. I couldn't I got my albums, of course, but I had a hard time picking projects that were just very, very dope to me. Right. In my opinion, 3 projects really stood out that year. But in my process of going through and listening to the things that came out of the year, I actually came across a project that was out that I remember being out, but I never listened to it outside of the one single I knew. Actually, 2 projects that made my top 5 was the same way. I have one honorable mention, and that's Tony Braxton and Babyface did a project together called Love, Marriage, and Divorce, right? Solid project. Can't even say it wasn't. It almost made my top. I'm trying to pull up the album track list real quick. So, because I forgot to put it in my notes. But, yes. This was a project, like I said, it was a collaborative project between her and Babyface, which should have been, in my opinion, better promoted, being you have 2 classic artists in Tony and Babyface. They do their thing separately, so you know when they get together, it's gonna be crazy. But the album actually dropped from right before Valentine's Day on February the 4th by Motown. Uh, it says sold 211,000 in the U.S. It won Best R&B Album at the Grammys that year. I did not know that, but you know what I'm saying. The song's Roller Coaster was a jam to me. Sweat, another one that was pretty good. Where Did We Go Wrong? It's cool. It's a cool little track. Not my favorite track, but it was cool. Um, when I first looked at the title, I thought it was gonna be a play off one of Tony's old songs, and I just had a brain fog of the song I had in my mind when I was thinking about this. I should have wrote it down, but I didn't. But y'all forgive me. Like I said, Where Did We Go Wrong was a dope, was cool song. I hope that you're okay. Like I said, which is more so of a Babyface solo was cool. Reunited was cool, and I'm gonna leave it at that. But that was my honorable mention for the week in R&B. Solid project. I can't, like I said, I can't complain. And that's Tony Braxton and Babyface with the Love, Marriage, and Divorce. Okay. Now, number 1 for the week is Chris Brown. You know what I'm saying? With his X album. Chris, like I say, on the R&B side, Chris is pretty much always on the list. Trey's on there. Usher, for the most part, is on there. And Neo is on that list, too. It's pretty much just makes my list all the time. They're some of my favorite artists, and majority of their albums going to be really dope to me, so it's probably going to be rare I don't get those albums on my list. But on this X project, Chris had a couple songs I wasn't really feeling so much, but for the most part, I was really digging it. So he had, of course, in my opinion, the smash Fine China. Like I love that song. It was a little outside of out of his box a little bit when it first came out, but as you can see, Chris dibbles and dabbles in those type of sounds and soundtracks with his music. So Fine China was dope. Also, that's what he had. He had the Smash New Flame with him and Usher, which was, if I'm not mistaken, at the moment, the first time they got together. And some people saw this also like the passing of the torch from Usher being the man of the king of R&B at the time, or the man of R&B, passing the baton to Chris so he can take it and run with it. And I kind of saw it that way too. But that was, like I said, if I'm not mistaken, the first joint they did together. It also had the boy Ross on it. Like I say, smash. Smash. You can't go wrong with Chris and Usher, two of the biggest and better male R&B artists that's been in the game for, I would say, the last 30 years, really. Yeah, last 30 years. Them two been holding down. Drown in it. Another solid song off that project. You know what I'm saying? So X was a dope project and it came in at number one for the week. Number two was the project I mentioned that I did not hear, but all I heard was the one single from it. And I was very surprised. Like, I like her, but I liked her for music I heard after the fact. And yeah, it's a female. So number two for the week is Teyana Taylor with her Seven project. I already liked Teyana before I even knew about this album. Made me like it even more. That girl put a masterclass on with this project, in my opinion. Um, I don't think it got enough recognition, or maybe it was just me because I missed it. But I didn't hear anybody around me or in my vicinity ever even talking about this project. But this project was crazy. It almost made number one for the week. Like the single that I heard that was on the radio here was Maybe. With her, Yo Gotti, Pusha T. I'm gonna push the fans, so you know I'm gonna go that route anyway. But she killed it. She had a song on there called Request. Hey, yeah. If you know, you know. But for those who don't know, fellas, she's talking to us. And she talking. she talking. Um, she also had another song on there that really, really caught my attention called Do Not Disturb. It actually took me back to the days when I used to go to the strip club a lot. I haven't been in many, many years. But boy, if I was still going, this would be a song request. So, fellas, if you have Valentine's Day is past, but if you have anything special coming up and your lady, you would like for her to do a nice dance for you, if y'all want to do something, spice it up a little bit, play Do Not Disturb and Request by Teyana Taylor and have your lady dance for you for the songs. You won't regret it and you'll thank me for it. But coming in at two for the week, Teyana Taylor with her Seven project. Three was the introduction to a young man that when he first broke into the game, we thought he was he was the new hot young dude. We thought he's gonna be around for a minute and he's gonna take the world by storm because he was dope. Somehow, some way, he lost his way around the course, and now we look at him as, for lack of better words, a clown. Well, some people do. I'm not gonna say that. Let me take that back. Some people do. Some people look at him as worse than that. But during this time, this project, that boy was hot as fish grease. He's a new face. Drops a debut album, and number three for the week is August Alsina with his Testimony project. Like I say, he came in the game with his hit. I love this shit. And man, I tell you, a lot of people loved it, and me being one of them. That boy killed it. Straight out of New Orleans. He killed it. You know what I'm saying? Straight out of New Orleans. That was a joint that I was really feeling. Make It Home, another dope song. Start the album early in the album. Make It Home, crazy. I really like Numb with him and Yo Gotti. I love the shit remix had the boy Chris and Trey on it. So y'all already know how that go, cause them the three young dudes at the time that was killing the game, the hot three young dudes. So that made sense. And when we got it, we was like, damn. But no, like I say, him and Gotti, dope. He had Ghetto with him, Gotti as well. And I want to say B.O.B. was on this song. He had a earlier version of it that had the boy Rich Homie Quan on it. He had also No Love from that joint, which was another single with him and Nicki, which was a smash hit. He had Kissing on My Tattoos that my boy Bush loved. Solid song, but Testimony was a dope project, a dope debut album. Coming in at 4. I just mentioned this gentleman. And I mentioned him earlier too. He's one of those guys who project seems to always fall on my top 5 list. So at 4 this week is Trey Songz with his Trigger project. Trey, to me, is hit or miss with some of the joints he had, especially on this project. Like, he had a couple joints that probably wouldn't be a typical song that I would like, but for some reason he made me like the joints. Like, again, everybody know, like my boy Bush love Trey. Everybody know my girl Valencia hates Trey. I always gotta say that when I talk about this with this gentleman, because he's so he's polarizing to a lot of people. But he opened the project with Cake, and I really liked the joint. Cake was different. So was Foreign, which was having a big single. I really liked Foreign. He had Nana, which was also another single, which is dope. And then he had Smartphones that I really like. Now, Smartphones was interesting. It was in the vein of other songs that he's had on other projects, in the sense of how he's talking about how he gets himself in trouble. Well, on Smartphones, this song was more so about him cheating on his woman, or his girl, I should say, and accidentally called her, and she heard everything he was going on, or everything he was doing, and he was trying to figure out how much she heard and how can he lie to get himself out of it. Hey man, I can't say we all been there, but I know a lot of guys have been there. I know a lot of people have been ladies to butt down, as they say, your significant other as you doing dirt. Ladies, fellas, people should be smarter than that by now. But needs to say dope song. Good concept, dope song. Alright. And the last one for the week. A project that normally I would never listen to, because it's just I like him, but it's hard for me to just run to his music, because his music is weird to me at times. Like, he can be weird at times. Dope producer, dope songwriter. He's just himself. So number 5 was Pharrell Williams with his Girl project, right? It was actually an interesting listen. I was actually surprised by it. Of course, I didn't like every song, but he had enough songs on it to where it made me like the project. So he opens the project with a song titled Marilyn Monroe. Solid song. Wasn't the best song, but definitely solid. He backdoor that with a song I do like called Brand New. Brand new dope track. I only listen to the songs like maybe 2 or 3 times. So I can't give you a deep dive on what the songs is about on this project. It was just a solid project. But brand new, like I said, Marilyn Monroe, brand new with 2 dope songs on there. He had Come Get It Babe, which was a single that I had heard before. Solid songs. I actually like the song. Um, my favorite song off the project was Lost Queen. Dope record. Really dope record. Really dope record. And of course he had the big hit Happy on this project as well. Happy was also featured on the Despicable Me project, which is where most people heard it from, but it actually made the cut on he put it on this project too. It made sense to why not. So that's Pharrell with his girl project. So again, to recap the top 5 R&B for the week, it was Chris Brown X, Tiana Taylor 7, August Alsina's Testimony, Trey Songz Trigger, and Pharrell Williams with Girl, with honorable mention being Toni Braxton and Babyface with Love, Marriage, and Divorce. Right. Okay. So, like I said, this had to be quick because I got some personal stuff I need to handle real quick. But I do appreciate y'all taking the time to check in. You know what I'm saying? Comment as always. Watch and listen. I appreciate it. If you have not, again, go and subscribe to the YouTube at Dios Patterson 807, or you can search Unfiltered Foolishness Podcast. You can pull it up there. Follow me there. Follow me on Twitch at D_Patterson214. Same thing with TikTok at D Patterson214 and Instagram D Patterson214. Right? Y'all can follow me across all social media sites. Like, subscribe, share. And catch y'all next time. We out. Peace.